It is hard to go to a rugby pitch when the Uganda national team is playing and fail to spot this guy. He is, to say the least, the #1 fan of Ugandan rugby. He travels with the team everywhere and sometimes has to stand as a one-man team on away games.
We went to Zimbabwe, won. They said, they gave all the players, they said, even the fan, because I was alone in Zimbabwe blowing my vuvuzela for the team, and we won.
Eddie is very good. You cannot talk about Ugandan rugby and don't mention Eddie.
Are you sure?
Very sure about that. He's the man. We follow him. He leads. He does the vuvuzela work very well, and we have full confidence in him.
No.
Eddie is a very good man.
Is that all? He's not crazy. He doesn't do anything.
No.
Doesn't he bully you?
No, doesn't.
When someone says Eddie, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
He's friendly, he's social, but he's also weird and mad about everything.
Kwese is for the fans, and we were lucky enough to spend the day with this amazing character who goes by the name Eddie.
Chiwanuka Edward are my full names. I am a simple man with a simple profile, born in Masaka.
Our journey begins at the Chadondo Rugby Club on game day, Uganda against Namibia in the Rugby Afrique Gold Cup. Eddie comes in at around 10 a.m. clad in the Uganda Cranes jersey and ready to get his game face on. He spares some time to speak to Kwese.
I picked interest in sport and I said, maybe I can do better. Then after that, they started calling me to train the under 18s, under 21s. I said, no, those guys are a little bit tricky. They are big-headed. But the kids, you tell him I want this, he'll do that. Period. So after that, as I was pursuing my career, I had to go around as we, mechanics, you always move around. And then a friend of mine used to be together with him. He's called Eric, and we used to work in the same place. That was Spear Motors. I was the first guy to get to know this game. So he told me, we need to go there. So when I came here, and I came to Chadondo, I saw so many things. It's a sport, nice sport, and then it has drinks in it.
The jolly Eddie told us of his inspiration, the story of how he went from just a fan to the #1 fan.
I started learning the game from basics. After like a month, we had a trip to go to Nairobi. So I said, why don't we go to Nairobi and see how it works? So in between, we said, let's go. We went to Nairobi. That was my first time to go to Nairobi to support a rugby game. I used to go there for other things, but for rugby game, that was my first time. Then, when we reached Nairobi, I had my vuvuzela, and Eric had his vuvuzela. We started blowing vuvuzela. It was a new thing, but it made a lot of impact. The players would recognize that our fans are here. We need to die a little, die more for our country. They had to put a lot of effort in it, so that we can please our fans and please themselves. So it was like a symbol. So we started from there. From Nairobi, we came here, then we started to support our club. My club is Heathens. Started supporting Heathens. Then it became a trademark. We started singing. It was not there in rugby. Rugby had its cocoon, whereby, I won't say that, but because of those schools that used to play rugby, the traditional schools, the Namilyango, the SMAC, blah, 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 name them. Now, guys who went to those schools used to meet again the rugby game, and they had their own old songs that they used to sing, and it was mostly in English. But I got to see that we had these other fans that we are missing out in this game. They love the game, teach him the game, let him love the game, and then let him sing in his own language. That's when we started blending in English and Luganda. But I think the Luganda thing, It's more like we came to know that when we used to frequent going to Kenya, when you sing in English, those guys can silence you immediately. But when you start singing in Luganda, those funny songs, they will be like, what is he saying? Because I remember the first song was, we said, Lengere mbata, lengere mputa. And they kept quiet and they were in a shock. That we were saying, what are they saying? And we were laughing. So you got to know that if you use more of Luganda, Lusoga, Lunyankole, as you're playing, as you go outside Uganda, it works more for us. Do you know how it feels like when you have the vuvuzela? You blow it, and it makes that echo all over, and all eyes are on you. All eyes are on you, okay? And then you'll see guys, maybe they are in a mall pushing, and you see them pushing, really pushing. And late after the game, they will tell you, "Tuakuli, they had you blowing." And then we said, like this player called Alex Mobilu, he keeps on slapping them. Push. Like they feel like they have to do something. They must impress the fans as well. Let us lose, but let us lose honorably. Say, we tried our best, you tried your best, but you lost.
I was curious to know whether he has ever thought of quitting.
You know, when you're doing something like this, definitely there are so many challenges. But some will have to leave them. But anyway, you get challenges with the family. First of all, my wife had to accept that I'm a rugby fan. I love the sport, and I must do it. Okay? But she used to say, now, you see, definitely rugby and beer, they're friends. Later, she accepted it. Because I used to go without telling her where I'm going. But the funny thing, you used to see me on TV. It was a challenge. And then work. When I started supporting rugby, I was employed. I remember one day I told my boss, I'm sick. Then we went to Nairobi and we won. That was 2012. And then I jumped, after the final whistle, I jumped to the pitch. I went to the players, and then we went to, because it had rained, we went into the mud, and then we were sliding all over the pitch. Now, the press was all over me. Before I knew it, on Monday, I'm on the front page, a new vision. Just imagine, you told your boss you're sick, and you could see the sick man in mud. By the way, I'm the best father. But at times, my son tells me, I want to come for the game. I tell him, Uganda, Zimbabwe, watch it on telly. You know, you'll see your son when you're singing, when you're dancing. And I say, he looks at me. I don't want him or my daughter to see me live doing it. Let him watch it on TV and say, that's my father. That's my father. But it's good. It's fun. It's fun. It's all about how you connect with your family. But it's fun now. Right now, my wife doesn't ask anything. She's like, you have a rugby game? Okay, what do you need? Okay, vuvuzela here, towels are here, your jazz is here. What shoes are you going to put on? I want this, I want this. Now she's in line. Sooner or later, I'm looking forward to get twins as well. The twins will blow vuvuzela as well.
After a few rounds with the team, it is now time for serious business. Eddie now leads the rehearsals. Everything gets a dry run, from the dance moves to the songs to be sung in praise of the cranes. he leads his team through the thick Kampala traffic on foot to the Legends rugby grounds. The singing and dancing does not stop all the way to the stadium itself, and Eddie leads the Ugandan fans in singing and dancing in unison, and regardless of the result, Eddie cheers the Cranes on. Our day with Eddie ends on a low, a loss to Namibia, who went on to become African champions with a perfect unbeaten run, defending the title for the 4th year running. But take nothing away from Eddie, he had a good time. Daniel Lutaya, Kwese Sports in Uganda.